even if I put a cough drop, you'll hear me. It's fine.
Well, hello and welcome to the very next remedy. Okay, Tom, what is that?
I found a new song.
All right.
And I just like to, freshen things up every now and again.
Yeah, I like it.
Who is that?
That's a woman named Betty Wright, spelled with a W.
Yeah.
W-R-I-G-H-T.
And that song is called Clean Up Woman.
Wait, I've heard this song.
I'll play it for you again real fast.
Yeah, I've heard this song.
I haven't.
Okay, let's see here. I sort of edited it.
I bet when she starts singing, you'll...
I feel like the drums should have come in there. They made a mistake.
A clean-up woman.
You never heard this?
Is a woman who gets all the love we girls leave behind. The reason I know so much about
It's hilarious.
her
I heard this song
is because she picked up
I was watching Young Sheldon with Betty the other day.
Jumping slim.
And anyway.
What was the show you were watching?
Young Sheldon.
I don't
It's
even know
hilarious.
what that
I'd
is.
never even-
hilarious.
I had never heard it. I guess it's a precursor to Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, and how old is
He's young. He's
Sheldon?
like he's like 7 or 8, and he's a boy genius in college. And
Yeah,
he's
it's
growing up
hilarious.
near Houston, Texas. And so I was watching it on HBO Max the other day with Betty, and I was like, first of all, the show's hilarious. It's similar to
that's
The
good.
Wonder Years.
So it's a series or it's a movie?
Yes, it's a series.
Okay.
And it's actually still on the air, but the old episodes are on HBO.
Didn't one of y'all tell me to watch The Bear?
Oh,
Oh,
the
yeah.
bear, yeah.
Yeah. I
Are you
started that
watching it?
yesterday.
You are?
Yeah, I watched like 4 episodes.
It's
Yeah,
good.
isn't
it's
it
fast.
Isn't it really good?
Fascinating.
very
I
good.
mean, at first, I watched the first episode.
Me too.
Tom had watched it, and then I watched it, and I was like, they're just yelling at each other too much. It drove me crazy. And then I just got it. I mean, it's such a good
The
series.
psychology of it
Yeah.
is pretty fascinating.
Oh, just wait.
One of my
Okay.
best friends
I'm excited.
was a chef for pretty much his whole life, and he said that's the closest there's ever been on television to the real thing.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a client that's a chef, and he told me the same exact thing.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Especially, I guess, in New York. Or they're in Chicago. But you
I don't
kinda
know
get
where
the
they
same
are.
vibe.
They're in Chicago.
Yeah, they're in Chicago.
Oh yeah, because yeah, that's another thing I like because we lived, Kurt and I lived there for 4 years, and that city it's so fun to watch it because it's such a bustling city. It's just a great city, and it's great food.
It is great food. I love Chicago.
I love Chicago too.
But I don't like Chicago in the winter.
oh, let me tell you something.
You told me your earrings froze and
Yes,
What
you
else?
can't wear earrings
Yeah.
in your ears because the
They freeze
post
on
will
you?
freeze to the. Yeah,
I can't even imagine how painful
it
that
was
is.
it was horrible. It was,
Poor Janice lost her voice.
and then your nose hairs freeze. They just everything freezes. Yeah, I sound
Maybe
terrible.
you need to go there and freeze out whatever's going on inside
I
of
think
you.
so. I think I need to
Well,
go to
we
F
missed.
in Hawaii.
Yeah, you do need to go to Hawaii. We missed last week because you were sick, and you're still sounding.
I know.
puny.
Isn't that crazy?
And you look beautiful, but like when you got out of the car, I was like, "Oh, you still
Yeah.
don't feel good."
No, my eardrum burst, and I have never. That was one of the most painful things. I mean, I screamed.
Dang, that's never happened to me.
It hurt. But then once that happened, the ear didn't really hurt. I have to put drops in it, but it's fine. I mean, I'm on an antibiotic, so I'm gonna live. Thank you. You don't have to perform my service.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that
No,
quite yet.
It'll be a little
What
while.
is it hurt? Does it feel weird with headphones on with the sound going right into your ear?
Actually, it feels a little better.
Oh yeah.
Because when I don't have it on, it's like that ear's filled with fluid. It's not,
Right.
but it feels like it. And but I don't hear because your eardrum. If you have a hole in it, it doesn't vibrate like it's supposed to.
Right.
But actually, the headphones feel kind of good.
Have you been resting a ton?
Oh yeah,
Good.
I have a lot.
Good.
I really have. I mean,
It's
except
really
for
all you can
Thanksgiving
do.
Day. Yeah, but Wesley was here, with Wyatt and
adorable.
Wyatt's best friend, and they got to go to the Mavs game, and they were on the floor, and they met Luca.
Oh,
and
wow.
It was they felt like they had died and gone to heaven.
I would have felt like I died and
It
gone
was
to heaven.
really fun.
I need to show y'all a picture of me with Luca. I look like I'm 3 feet tall. I mean, the picture is, when people see it, they laugh so hard. I have a picture with me and Luca and Dirk, and I look like, literally, like
widget.
like I'm a Lego. It's unbelievable.
Oh, that's so fun.
Okay, so we missed last week, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
No,
you guys.
it's fine. It's
It was
fine.
Thanksgiving,
Yes.
Yeah.
and
which
it-
is, we're going to reflect on Thanksgiving for a little while.
Yes, yes. We're going to talk about what we were going to talk about last week because we're talking about gratitude. And really, even though Thanksgiving is a season of gratitude, I feel like all of us should live in a season of gratitude because we have a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah, we really do. And one of the concepts of Al-Anon is an attitude of gratitude because when a lot of people start going to a 12-step program like for alcoholism, and then they're the family that's affected by the alcoholism, everybody's so mad and bitter and everything because of the alcoholic. But the attitude of gratitude was just, at least for me, changed me because I was such a victim in my brain. And that attitude of gratitude, my sponsor was just like, okay, well, why don't we talk about something that you're grateful for today?
Like, no, I want to talk about how
Yeah.
everybody screwed me.
Yeah, what a victim I am. But anyway, so I think it's great. I don't think we can do too much of it, actually.
Yeah, I agree. So I found a great article, 10 tips to fit gratitude into your life. So it's
Love
not
it.
Thanksgiving specific, but I thought it had some great tips. And as we head into the holidays, I think I looked at Craig yesterday. I was like, well, you ready to put up Thanksgiving and get out Christmas? And he goes, oh. And I know some people really
Do you
love
decorate
that.
for Thanksgiving?
I don't, but he does.
Oh, I don't either.
He has a fall sitch, and then now he switches to Christmas. And so, I help him decorate his house. He helps me decorate my
Yeah.
house. But, I don't know, some people really love to decorate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom, doesn't your wife love to decorate? Or does she just decorate? Does she just get her done?
She's got it so
Because your house is already
streamlined.
done.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing is last year, I think every year up until this year, we would do for after Thanksgiving, between Thursday and the Monday, those 4 days were spent getting the Christmas decorations out and done. This year, we started on Monday before Thanksgiving so that on Thanksgiving, it was all done, which is
Wow.
Where did you have Thanksgiving?
nice. We had that at my sister Beth's house
Oh,
this year.
fun.
But all of my family was in town. My brother came in from California. My sister came in from Colorado, and all the grandkids were here. It was a good time.
Wow, that's a real
Yeah.
show.
I
Yeah.
told Tom yesterday. I said, I have a plant in a corner of my living room, and I said, can we just put some ornaments on that plant? And then because I think Buddy the dog is going to have a heyday with those
right.
ornaments and everything.
My dogs always
So
did.
I said, and then we'll just put a table in the living room and we'll just lay the presents on it.
This is our
Yeah.
first year for the artificial tree, and I
Oh,
think
yours
we're,
looks beautiful.
we're converts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've never had one. Tom won't do it.
Yep.
I'm kind of the same. I need a natural.
Yeah. I love the smell.
I do too.
Well, we got a candle for that.
Oh, good.
I got one of those too. To each their own. But your tree looks
And
gorgeous.
It
I am
really does.
thankful for that candle.
And you're thankful for that decorated tree.
And you're thankful for that woman who does it.
That's exactly right.
Right?
Can I hire her?
Correct.
Okay, so 10 tips to fit gratitude in your life. You want to start with number 1?
Sure. Every day, say aloud 3 good things that happened. This can be a fun activity to do with your kids when you tuck them in or around the dinner table with family, but it's also extremely powerful to express gratitude aloud when you're alone. Oh, you know what I like about this?
What?
This is about 3 good things that happened, not just 3 good things.
Yeah,
Like,
not just 3
I'm
things
thankful
I'm
that I have
grateful
food
for.
in my refrigerator, which is not a bad thing to do. But I like this because when you're recapping your day and you can come up with 3 really lovely things that happened, I think that's different. I think it's a different
For sure. That's a different
approach.
conversation. It is
Yeah.
a different approach is a great word.
Yeah, I really, really, really like that.
I have a gratitude journal,
Yeah,
and
I do too.
it has 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 things that would make today great, 1 affirmation. And then at night, you're supposed to reflect on your day. You're supposed to reflect on a good thing and a thing that you could do better. So 1 thing that you're really grateful that happened that day,
Yeah.
and then 1 thing that you could do better the next day. Well, I don't do any gratitude or reflecting at night. I go to bed.
Yeah.
But what I do is start the next day with the reflection of the day before.
Oh, I love
so I start it with what was 1 great thing that happened, 1 thing of gratitude from the day before, and then what's 1 thing that I could have done better.
it. Uh-huh.
And I do like that. But I agree with you. It's a different approach than just the generic, I'm grateful
Yeah.
for cream in my coffee. I'm grateful for, even though that might be what you're grateful for that
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
But I do like that.
I really like that too.
Oh, the second one is keep a gratitude journal.
Yeah. Which journal do you use?
5-minute journal.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Is that, what do you use?
I just have a journal,
Okay.
a writing journal that I write in. And I'll do, particular people or things that I'm really grateful for with Tom or grateful with my children or, just as I try to reflect upon the human aspect of it. And it works. But Tom does a gratitude journal every day too.
I love it. Somebody introduced it to me like 6 or 7 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And my journal is a 6-month journal. So I have like a library of them now.
Oh,
and
that's
they kind
really
of up
fun.
on my bookshelf. And I've never gone back and looked at them,
That'd kind of be fun.
but I will one day.
Uh-huh.
And I've thought when I die and those are just sitting up there, I mean, it might be scary for my kids to read them. I'm grateful my children are in college. I'm grateful. I'm grateful Thanksgiving's over and they're back at school.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, man, mom was rough.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, say thanks to your partner. Couples who express gratitude toward one another set up a powerful feedback loop of intimacy and trust, where both partners feel as if their needs are being met. I so believe that.
I do too. I really do.
Do you think you're good at that?
Yeah, I do think I'm good at it. My Wesley, my middle daughter that lives in Australia, was here with her son and her son's best friend. And Tom was so great with the boys and
Of course.
and took them to play basketball and just was I mean there were a lot of people and I didn't feel well and Buddy was all crazy, the dog.
Oh, I bet Buddy was in heaven
He
with that
was.
crew.
But last night I said to him, I just want you to know how much I appreciate the way you are with my family. Because there were a lot of us. We had 14 people for Thanksgiving lunch with the girls and the grandkids, and it was really fun. But but it's not. And Corey, Tom's son, and his wife and new baby, they stayed at home. They didn't really want Elliot around whole lot of people. So it was just my fam, but I told him last night how much I appreciated the way he treats my kids and stuff.
So sweet.
Because it really is. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, it is.
That's huge. But you know what? I feel like those small little gestures and small little words I bet that meant the world to Tom.
Yeah.
They go a long way. My son George, when he was playing football this fall,
Yeah.
his girlfriend, we love her. She's so precious. She was getting kind of cranky because George didn't have any time for her.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're always practicing, you're always watching film, you never have time for me, you're always practicing, playing, whatever. And he was like, I promise when football's over, like it'll be different, but it's just, this is football season.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me about it. She's real upset. And I said, George, put a note on her car. Tell her, send her a text every other day. Just a little gesture goes so far.
It does.
And all like you will, it's like putting a pacifier in somebody's mouth. It's like, okay, I can keep going. I can keep going because they appreciate me, and get her a thing of flowers and say, I know this is a tough season. I really appreciate you being on my sideline or whatever. You know?
That just adds up. Mm-hmm. And people really do appreciate it. Last night, Tom and I were watching a show, and he said, hey, today I just got a Black Friday notice from Hotel Nizuc, that hotel that I love so much in
Cancun.
Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and I was thinking we should go again in April. And so I'm like, okay, that's really good. But he totally came up with that, and I told him, I said, thank you so much. The idea is just that I'm not the one that's having to beg for anything. I mean, it was just really nice.
Initiative.
He came up with it. Yeah.
Thoughtfulness.
Yeah.
A small gesture.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big one, but
it is.
But we won't tell him that.
He knows he's been there before.
He's seen that bill before. Okay, you want to read the next one?
Yes. Cool a hot temper. Mm-hmm. Is that it?
Number 4.
Number 4. Cool a hot temper with a quick gratitude inventory. One of the quickest ways to dispel the energy of a stormy mood is to focus your attention on what's good. So when you're about to lash out at someone, take a moment to do a quick inventory of 5 things you're thankful for in the moment. It could be your good health, clean air, or even the recent switch to a cheaper cell phone bill. These details will help you relax and avoid saying something you'll later regret.
I'm not good at this.
I'm not either. And I think it takes a lot of mindfulness.
If I'm in a hot temper, I'm not going to go in my room and think of 5 things that I'm grateful for.
Well, you might put a sticky note on your mirror, and you might develop that practice.
I might want to try, but this sounds so, and I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Serenity now.
Yeah, serenity now. Exactly. Would you be good at this, Tom?
Hell no.
See, I think this is hard. Do you think this would make that big of a difference?
Well, it would probably keep you from lashing out at someone. Mm-hmm. If you are really...
I'm not a real lasher, but if I have feelings, finding gratitude isn't going to make that feeling go away.
Well, it might keep you from...
slashing
saying
tires.
Something that you regret. Slashing tires. Well, if that's how you relieve your hot temper.
No, I've never done that.
Remind me not to park in front of your house.
My new T-Mobile contract is why I didn't just break your windshield.
Exactly. I don't know. I think this is a big. I mean, I do. You know what helps me more than anything, and the tip came from you, is breathing.
Yeah.
Breath resets me and can calm me down quicker than than going and writing 5 things I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of work to cool my time. But I do think there's things that we could do.
Yeah, I think the thing,
and
I think the point of this is that when we lash out at someone, we can't undo those words.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes those words, I mean, I could chew somebody up and spit them out.
Well, you used to, and you've said you used to do that, but I can't see you doing that now.
But I really don't much anymore, because I think it's more about one of the reasons I don't do that is with Tom is because Tom just doesn't get angry at me.
Mm-mm.
He's never lashed out at me,
Mm-mm.
and so I really realized that I don't need to do that.
Mm-mm. Well, it's not
okay.
It's not okay.
It really isn't.
Mm-mm. And it's not going to move. I'm sure that if you have ever done that, because Craig and I are probably pretty equal, but if he's calm and I'm not, or I'm calm and he's not,
yeah,
it really, you get reset quick because you realize what a fool you're sounding like or acting like, or like, and then when he's calm and I'm not, and I'm looking at him, I can see his disappointment, or that look of, what are you doing? And or are you done? That kind of feeling, and it makes me feel so bad that I want to get out of it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So I think diffusion is brilliant.
Yeah, I think so too. And maybe part of this is that if I were to be frustrated with Tom, let's say, and I stormed upstairs or something and was really creating a real story in my head that was real extreme, well, blah, 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 he doesn't do this or blah, 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 that might help you from acting out on that story that you're making up. Because I think sometimes when we feel like lashing out, it's because we've created it in our brain.
A lot of times we do that.
And so that might help you do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, Carter tells me, and I know I've said it on here before, he tells me from time, hey, Ma, it's just not that deep.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to choke him, but I kind of want to laugh at the same time because he's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's usually not that deep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. It's not that deep usually at all.
Okay, number 5, thank yourself. Gratitude doesn't always need to be focused on what other people have done for you. Make sure you give yourself a thank you for the healthy habits you've cultivated in your own life, such as eating plenty of veggies or giving yourself enough time for rest each night. I love this.
I do too.
I think it's true that we tend to focus, when we think of gratitude, we often think of others. But gosh, we do a lot of amazing things that we need to be grateful for ourselves.
You know what could be fun to do is stand in the mirror and just have a conversation with that person, telling them all the things you like about them and what they've done well. Because I think we can be so critical of ourselves, and that would be a really good little activity to do maybe once a week.
For sure. I think you and I are really good at this.
Yeah. I am my favorite person.
I am one of my favorite people. There's no I was talking with some guy this morning, and he's so precious. And and he was talking about how he presents himself, how he presents himself to some people. They feel like he is a certain way. And I'm like, really? Like, I have never experienced you like this. And he's like, well, Tova, I don't know if you know this about you, but you have an inordinately high amount of self-confidence. And I was like, you're kind of right.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned it from counseling with you, but it's like, when you do think highly of yourself and you have a gratitude for yourself and your body and your health and your mind and your hard work and the kind of mother you are, like it's really hard to like get down, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I
I
think
have a
that,
lot of gratitude for me.
well, and that's what self-esteem is your own value of yourself, you know, because what a lot of times we've done in our lives is had other esteem, you know, how am I doing? How am I doing? How am I doing? Rather than having self-esteem and doing that inventory of yourself. And if there is something that you want to work on, then you do that. But also, if you can get into the habit of appreciating yourself, it really will change your attitude about yourself.
It has to.
And it's something that we create. It's not something we do necessarily, our achievements, although that can be part of it. But it's really just more about having a really good, sound relationship with oneself.
You know, if science has proven that gratitude towards things makes a huge difference in our psychology, our mood, our attitudes, I don't know the science behind it, but I would venture to guess that if you have gratitude for yourself, that would also move the needle.
Oh, of course. I think so too.
Okay, you do 6.
Okay. Use technology to send 3 gratitude messages a week. Find yourself tethered to your cell phone or the internet for hours each day. Well, wait. Find yourself tethered to your cell phone for the internet for hours each day. Harness the power of this technology to send out some good vibes, such as a text or Facebook comment to tell your friends why you appreciate them. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a simple,
Yeah.
easy, fun thing to do.
Yeah. It really is.
I don't know that we thank people enough
Yeah.
or find gratitude in specific things, especially. Like
Yeah.
if somebody sends me a message or a note, it's specifically thanking me for something that they see in me or saw in me. That means so much to me.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. Number 7, savor the good moments. If you notice you're feeling happy, stop what you're doing and pay attention for a few minutes. Notice exactly how you feel, including the sensations in your body and the thoughts you're having. Later, when you're trying to inspire gratitude, you can remember this moment and experience the benefits all over again.
Oh.
That's really hard for me to recreate feelings.
Really?
Like I have thought, like if something's really funny to me or somebody does something or said something really sweet, I so appreciate it, but it's kind of fleeting for me. I don't know what that says about me, but it's like if I was like in a sad mood or upset about something, or I couldn't just go back to something funny my brother said.
Oh, yeah.
And it trump that moment that I was in. It's not like I could be like, well, you know what? At least I have my brother and my children and Craig, and then so now this problem doesn't feel so big.
Right.
I don't think my brain does that well.
Yeah, I think that you have to be, I think that we don't, look, it's not bad to not feel happy. You're not going to feel happy all the time. And part of what is really important and I think really good for our bodies is that we allow ourselves to have these negative emotions and negative experiences and recognize them, breathe through them, you know,
Feel them.
and then they dissipate. But I think that if we have this expectation that we're supposed to be zippity-doo-dah every day, it's just unrealistic. And I think it's important to give ourselves permission to feel sad or to feel angry or to feel afraid. It's just what you do with it that can be real negative.
Yes. I think that's perfectly said.
Good.
It's important to feel it. I'm not a good replacer.
Yeah. Well, I think you've got to. I think that it's like two things really can't occupy the same space.
coexist,
So if
yeah.
you're really sad and you're trying to talk yourself out of it, well, you should be grateful for this, this, and this. It's not, you're not giving yourself the attention to value that sadness and maybe learn from it or realize that it's different. You know, so you're honoring that for yourself as opposed to replacing it.
Yep.
There are people who don't want to be around anybody who isn't happy all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And
Those people stress me out.
yeah, they're difficult to be around.
That personality stresses me out.
Yeah. And I think that we use gratitude a lot of times to replace that. Oh, well, it's not okay. Sit down and make a gratitude list. It's not okay for you to be mad or whatever.
It's a beautiful day. Why are you sad? Look at the sun shining. Like, come on,
Yeah.
focus on. But it's like, but I'm feeling this,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I think there's a balance with that
I
for me.
absolutely, I agree with you totally on that.
On that same vein.
Kind of on that same vein, yeah.
Number 8, check for silver linings. I don't know what this says, but I'm interested. Even the most difficult life challenges come with some benefit. You just have to look to find them. Being sick draws the compassion of friends. Making a mistake teaches you a lesson. When things feel hard, ask yourself, what's good here? I don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't mind it either, but I also think that, you know, I think you've got to give yourself time before you're ready to look at that.
I totally agree with that.
You know?
Totally.
And-
I am a person who needs time.
Yeah, me too.
But there are people who don't need time.
Yeah.
And if you are somebody who needs time and you're with somebody who doesn't need time, I think it's really important that you have compassion for a person who might take a little longer to work through
Yeah.
feelings or emotions.
Yeah, one of the things that my dad used to say is, he said, it's really not throwaway. He said, it's really not a mistake. It's a learning experience. So give yourself a break and look at it from that perspective. He was such a,
That's a great thing to hear from your dad.
yeah, it was great.
Learn the lesson, throw away the experience.
And that was his attitude all the time.
That I wish my parents had that attitude.
Yeah.
They're like, you suck.
They were?
You know this.
Oh, Tova.
Oh, yeah. You know if you
How
made-
could they have done that to you? I'm mad.
No, I mean they were very big on that was the wrong thing, you know, that was a bad. There wasn't like that.
No ability to maybe mess up.
Yeah. Hey, you know, that was a toe stub, and I never did anything super bad as a child ever. I mean, I was never a bad child. Or I'd never caused my parents a lot of problems ever.
Yeah.
But I do think that's a beautiful gift to give your children, especially. So I don't mind that one. Okay, number 9 is all you.
Okay. Look outward, not inward. Robert Emmons says people are more likely to feel grateful when they put their focus on others rather than getting caught up in their own inner narratives about how things should have gone. Empathy for others can trigger a sense of gratitude, and people who have an outward focus tend to experience stronger benefits. What do you think about that?
So that first part made me think of like, there have been times where if I've been going through, let's say like when I was getting divorced, like it was like a period of time that felt real, like I was walking through mud.
It was so hard.
Yeah, all day, every day. And so that feels applicable for those times in my life where it's like at some point I had to get out of the mud, and really doing things for others did help.
It did. It did. I totally agree with you. At some point, you've got to be like, all right, I just have
Enough of this.
enough of this self-pity.
Yes.
It is hard, but I got to focus on something else.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's good. It's good that we have the capacity to be in the experience and feel crappy and feel sorry for yourself. But then at some point in time, if you're going to stay there, then people stay there a lot of times their entire life.
Yeah. You can get stuck.
You can get so stuck, and you have to unstick yourself by doing those other things, like focusing on others, doing something nice for other people, looking at the sky, flowers. I mean,
Going on a walk, getting exercise. I mean,
exercise.
Yep. Taking care of yourself.
Yeah, this morning I woke up and I was just feeling so still sickly, and I hadn't walked on the treadmill or outside for a couple of days because it was so cold and I didn't feel like it. And I got on the treadmill, made myself get on the treadmill and walk for an hour, and it made all the difference.
Wow.
I got off the treadmill and I was like, I've actually feel better physically. So it's
Those
somehow,
little things really can make a big difference. I had a girl come to my house last week, and she's just really been struggling with depression, and she's having a hard time getting up. And I said, one thing I challenged her with was just shower and get ready every day. Just get up and shower and get ready. Like, let's just start with that. Because for me, I know that like the days where I get up, get going, get dressed, get showered, that day typically is more productive than the day that I don't.
Yeah. And the thing about depression is that's a neurotransmitter condition. And so when you get up and start doing something positive, walk around the block, go to, if it's too cold outside, I used to go to North Park and just walk, I'd walk for an hour and because it will release neurotransmitters, and it's going to help it's really going to help the depression.
Which is, getting up and getting out is so hard when you're feeling low and down. But like you said, you will feel so much better.
For sure.
Okay, the final one, number 10, change your perspective. If you struggle to come up with something to feel grateful for, put yourself in the shoes of someone who's experiencing misfortunes greater than your own. Recalling a colleague who has debilitating physical condition, for example, will inspire gratitude for your own healthy body, which you may have taken for granted otherwise. I don't like this one.
You don't?
No.
Okay, why?
I'm not sure why I'm whispering.
I'm not sure either.
But
this
I'm
whispering
reminds
too.
me of like when I'm down and somebody says to me, it could be so much worse.
Yeah.
That is the last thing I want to hear when I'm telling somebody about something that's hard in my life.
Yeah.
Well, they're starving. They're starving kids in Africa.
Yeah,
well,
dad.
I'm not one of them.
Yeah, exactly. My mom and dad used to do that to my sister and I. Okay, but there are starving children in China or Africa, and we're going to go and we're going to...
You could be an orphan.
Yeah, my mom and dad took my sister and I to an orphanage.
Just so you could feel gratitude.
Yeah, so that we could look at the children, because we argued so much and picked on each other, and they made us go and have lunch with all these orphans, and it really didn't work. My sister and I kind of laughed all the way through it. It did help with that, but that's what I was like, are you going to leave us here or something?
I don't know. I appreciate the sentiment.
I do too.
And I understand that it could always be worse. Mm-hmm. But when you're in it, when I'm in it, that is the last thing I want to hear.
No.
Is that it could be, well, at least you have your legs. Huh?
Yeah.
If somebody told me that when I got hit by the truck, I broke 15 bones. I've got a shattered...
Tova, you should be grateful because you have your legs.
Yeah.
They're still on you.
I would
Did anybody ever
throw
say
this
that to
topo
you?
at them. No.
Good.
No, but people do say some tacky things sometimes.
They do.
I mean, you know that. I
Yeah.
mean, you live long enough, you just can't believe. I mean, I remember after I lost Charlie, Louisa, somebody said to me, please tell me you're not going to have another child. Haven't we all been through enough?
Like it was so hard for everybody?
Like it was so hard for
them.
everybody. Yeah, for them. And I'm like, and that person was in my house, and this was right after Louisa died. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you make her funeral arrangements? Did you stand over her coffin? I mean, like, so there are people who say, really, but like, I don't know. I think that's a slippery slope I think that's a conversation you have to have with yourself, not anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think you just encourage, you just understand people and say, I understand that that's difficult for you. I understand that you're really unhappy right now, or I can see that you're really angry. It's okay. It's just what you do with it. You know, so, I mean, we're human.
Right.
And I don't think we have to be zippity-doo-dah 24/7.
No, I don't. I am not like that. And I can't be super close with people who are like that.
Kind of wears me out.
Yeah. Wears me out. I totally agree. But I like these tips.
I do too.
I mean, I think there's some good nuggets in here.
I do too.
What was your favorite?
I think I really like the really saying thank you to your partner. I think that's the one thing that really I think it's so important that we thank them for, you know, even just to say thank you. Oh, thanks, babe, or whatever that is, to just help value that person. I think it really helps a marriage.
I do too.
Ton.
I think it helps all of us, friendships,
Yeah.
our children. You know, think about how much time we spend telling our children what they do wrong. You know, I mean, if I think about all the things that I told George yesterday, hey, dude, get in here and do your dishes. You're a da-da-da. Like, do your buddy, when you get something out of the dryer, don't like take all the things out of the dryer, take the one thing you need, and then leave everything on the floor. I mean, but how many things did I tell him yesterday that I loved about him? You know, we spend a lot more time, I think, as parents, we can spend a lot more time like teaching them, which sounds like criticism to them, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think the balance of the gratitude could be very powerful.
That's one of the things that is so fabulous about adult children.
Oh, I bet.
Is that I don't criticize.
You don't have to.
It's not my life.
It's not your lane.
It's not my lane. They can't get grounded. They don't. I mean, I never, ever criticize. And if I have a negative opinion about something, I ask them before I give it to them. Because they don't need
might not
a
wanna hear-
mother.
No.
I mean, I'm there to be their
Supportive
encourager
and
and supportive.
cheerleader and
But I don't criticize ever.
well, I think that oftentimes even well-meaning parents who are like, you know, like, did you brush your teeth? Or go brush your teeth. Your breath stinks. Like, you don't have to say it like that. You know, you could just say, hey, Bubba, you need to go brush your teeth. You know, but I think sometimes as parents we get short-tempered, annoyed, and we can be, and you're wanting to teach them, but we end up being critical.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I do appreciate so much that. I mean, I think the power of gratitude is huge. I mean, this morning, Craig and I went to yoga, and I got home, and he went back to his house. I dropped him off, and I was about to jump in the shower, and I just thought how many times I look over at him in yoga, and I'm just so grateful that he's the one. Like, I think he's so cute, and I'm so grateful that he's the one next to me. And so I texted him that.
Oh, that's really
And I
cute.
said, you know, every single class, I think at least at least once how cute you are and how grateful that you're the one by my side.
Yeah, that's
And
really cool.
Well, it's kind of like you saying thank you to Tom. You know,
Yeah.
it's like we think it, we think so many positive things about people, but sometimes we forget to communicate
Yeah,
it.
I
It's
agree.
really important. That was my favorite too.
Yeah, me too. That's awesome.
Yep.
I really like this.
Me
a
too.
lot.
Well, we hope that you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We hope that as you enter into the Christmas era, that
Here
doesn't
it
feel
comes.
that doesn't feel too overwhelming. Next week we're going to talk about how to navigate family during the holidays. And
Okay.
boundaries with in-laws and all the things. So we're going to get you through this one way or another. Thanks for listening.